Hello, my fellow skateboarders, longboarders, and freelance skaters. I'm Srinivasan, a fine art photographer and a long distance skater. I'm going to cut there as my interview. I'm going to keep it short, and it's only for people who are visiting my channel for the very first time. And who we have here is an avid athlete and remarkable athlete who has completed 100,000 kilometers of working out from 2012 in Strava calculations alone. There could be errors, there could be other things, like minus that, he has completed 100,000 kilometers and he is still counting. So he is a remarkable avid athlete, also an long distance skater. And with that track record, I'm very, very grateful for him to invite to this interview because he was one of the early birds to recognize me and talk to me in the very first interview a couple of years back. So I'm very grateful. So welcome to this interview.
Yeah, thanks a lot. What a kind introduction.
You're remarkable, sir. You always inspire me with whatever you do. Like be it running, he
Well,
just completed 100 kilometers of running, and that's a very hard terrain. I can see that videos. You should visit all his Instagram page and Strava page. If you need some motivation, please go and check there. I always do. Um,
cool. Great.
Sir,
Awesome.
yeah, I see many races that has been happening for a very long time in the long distance skating world have perished. Like in 2023, Dutch Ultraskate also had some challenges, and in
Mhm.
Pusha race, it did not happen in 2024. So, how
Yeah.
difficult it is to organize a race?
Well, yeah, it's quite difficult, and just to come back to the Pusha thing. So actually, Andrea, who organizes Pusha, he moved to Portugal.
Ah,
So he's not in Italy anymore. I don't know. I don't think many people know that, but that's the main reason why that race is no more.
ah,
And I think I don't know the details, but I think he couldn't find people who could sort of take over the organization.
mm-hmm.
And to be honest, I think this is also an important point because, well, we started the Ultraskate. This was like the ninth edition, I think. So we have this whole experience over the years. And I think it's very difficult to start a race from scratch. It's very good to have someone in your organization who has experience with this. And I think for a lot of people, myself included, when I started a race, I have no idea how you organize a race,
Mm,
and that's something you learn over the years. And then now organizing a race, like a new race, you have sort of all these other races uh, which are sort of became the standards, you know.
mm,
So you will have the feeling that you need to live up to those standards. So I think that's also a bit of a barrier for people to completely organize a new race.
mm,
And then yeah, you have the other reason is that it's taking a lot of your time, you
mm,
know. It
mm,
takes a lot of time and effort
mm,
to organize such a race.
mm,
And most people have very busy lives, they have families, they have work, all that kind of stuff, and it's very difficult for them to invest all that time.
mm,
And the scene, although we have a very lively long distance skating scene,
mm,
it's still not as big as running or cycling or whatever.
mm,
So
mm.
yeah, it's also difficult to find other people who can help you organize such an event because it's very difficult to do it just by yourself.
I totally understand, and I want to congratulate you for doing this for ninth edition thing. Like it's not easy to continue conducting a race for such a long time. So that's amazing
Mm-hmm.
and kudos to you, sir. When you revived the Dutch Ultra Skate in 2024, how did you determine that a 6 hour race format would be the best option?
Yeah, so the reason why I didn't organize the race in 2023,
Mm-hmm.
because the other two years that we didn't organize it was because of the COVID pandemic.
Mm,
But in 2023, like I said, you need to invest a lot of time
mm,
to make a good event happen. And
mm,
the first thing you sort of need to do when you want to organize an event is to think like, do I want to invest the time, and can I invest the time? Do I will I have the time
mm, mm,
to do
mm,
it? Because if you start organizing an event and you don't have the right amount of time,
mm,
then it's going to be not a good event.
mm, mm,
So and that particular year, I made a choice. I was like, yeah, I have so much other stuff going on.
mm,
I can't invest the
mm,
time. So that's why it didn't happen. And then, yeah, we also had some changes in the volunteers. Normally, I would organize it together with Lonneke, but she couldn't organize that year, so I would have to find new people.
mm,
And then I didn't want the event to stop. I wanted to continue the Dutch Ultraskate.
mm,
So then I thought, what would be a good way to have the event,
mm,
and make it happen in the right way,
mm,
with also with like a new staff, basically, like with new people.
mm,
And that's why we chose to do the 6 hour, because one reason or one thing that also makes the ultra skate so difficult is because it's 24 hours.
mm,
So
mm,
people stay up the entire night. People are very tired at the
mm,
end, and this also makes organizing, especially on the day itself, a difficult task. So we thought we do a shorter
mm,
race, and we see how that goes. We see what the reception is, and our aim is still to keep the 24-hour
mm,
format.
mm.
But we wanted to experiment with this 6 hour format, and I think it fitted best with sort of the time that we had, and what people could invest at that moment in time.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing, amazing. So now that you have conducted a successful 6 hour race, so what is that, the challenges and the rewards comparing to the 24-hour race and the 6 hour race that you actually experienced?
Yeah, I think it's quite similar, to be honest.
Mm-hmm,
Also, one reason I thought of uh, doing the 6 hour was that I also want to have like an accessible event.
mm-hmm,
I want also people from all skill levels to be able to join the event.
mm-hmm,
And I know for a lot of, I mean, the 24-hour thing, it's become such a staple in the long distance skating. Everybody's all like, oh yeah, I'm going to do an ultra skate. But if you look at running, for example, the amount of people that run 24 hours is such a small group.
mm-hmm,
And I thought, I also want other people, that like beginners, or people, who do it for fun, but seem, for whom the 24 hours seem to be a bit daunting. I think like, oh yeah, maybe a 6 hour format will be better for them. And that's actually some of the feedback I got. So I had some people who told me like, oh yeah, I always wanted to join the event, but 24 hours for me just seems so long. So I'm very glad that you're doing a 6 hour this time.
mm-hmm.
But I still think the majority of sort of the core skaters, they were like, oh yeah, I can't wait to do a 24-hour again. So
Um,
the feedback was a bit mixed. I mean, I don't say that the people were like unhappy or anything about the 6 hour, but yeah, the feeling I got was that people really live for this 24-hour, and they want to see the 24-hour.
mm,
And then to me, yeah, I think we had a good event. I think everything went well, and it was a well organized event.
mm,
And for me, so sort of my personal reward, as you would call it, as a race director, is really like, okay, I had a successful event, everything went well,
mm,
people were happy,
mm,
and that's the most important. And I think that's similar for each type of event you organize, I guess. If it's a good event,
mm.
that's sort of the reward. And I think that was pretty similar to other years.
Kudos to you, sir, because I live in India and it has reached till here. So definitely you have done wonderful thing that people here are going to cherish and remember for a very long time. So how do
Mhm.
you coordinate with SkateIDSA for all these races?
Yeah, so that's actually quite quite easy because I'm myself on the board of the IDSA.
Oh,
So we have regular board meetings, and I'm basically also friends with everyone there. So
amazing.
I'm always in close contact with
Mm,
Andy Andrus,
mm,
who's also organizing the Miami Ultraskate,
mm, mm,
and we over the years we've always been in pretty close contact because we also try to coordinate things, to also with the rules and stuff to keep things similar with the Miami Ultra Skate as the Dutch Ultra Skate. So there's always a lot of communication between me, people from Miami Ultra Skate, and also the IDSA. So yeah.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Uh, sir, please outline the sequence of events in organizing an ultra skate, be it be 6 hours race or a 24-hour race. As in, like this includes booking a track, making social media announcements, poster designs, setting participants limits, determining the fees, planning the race itself, measuring racetrack with a Jones counter or something, like, and organizing any after parties that you have planned, like distribution of whatever trophies and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, that's a challenging question because there's a lot of things that you have to
Yeah.
do, and I mean, so I'm now also in the process for the Dutch Ultraskate 2025.
Mm.
So we actually start this sequence of things that we do,
Mm-hmm.
and so the first thing that we always do is we try to find a date. I ask the people who help me organize. I ask what's the best date for them,
Mm-hmm.
and usually what we try to do is we try to organize the Dutch Ultraskate as close to the summer solstice, so the longest day
Mm-hmm.
um, as possible, so that we have like a very short night and a very long day,
Mm-hmm.
basically. And so this time we could actually host it on the 21st, which is also Go Skateboarding Day, so that's nice. So we pick the date, and then I try to reserve the track as early as possible
Mm-hmm.
because other people also want to use the track. So if you're very late with that, then usually your preferred weekend will be booked out. So that's the first very important thing, is to ask the volunteers what's a good date for them,
Mm.
then go contact the people from the track, and then reserve the track.
So,
And
may I
then
interrupt you?
yeah.
If you don't mind, can you tell me the fee? I mean, like the cost of booking a track, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so I mean, so one important change that's also, you talked about the challenges and stuff of organizing an event. So one of the things that has changed in the last 2 years
Mm-hmm.
is that the price of the track dramatically increased.
Oh.
So I don't really understand the specific details behind it, but it has to do with sort of the tax they pay on the property,
Mm-hmm.
which increased significantly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things. And I asked the lady now who runs the track, like, what we're gonna have to pay, and she sort of gave me an estimate,
Mm-hmm.
because at this moment she can't tell. She has to calculate this, but it's I think like 3 or 4 times as expensive as normal.
Oh.
So yeah, that's kind of a pity.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, but this is sort of a general trend you see. Everything gets more expensive, also like groceries
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. So yeah, I think this is just a bit a sign of the times. And you also see that with the Miami Ultra Skate, also their entry fee has
Mm-hmm.
increased over the years, and that's unfortunately also what's going to happen with our event,
Mm-hmm.
because the number of participants stays relatively stable.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 100, 120 people. If there would be like a lot of extra people, we would sort of also think about increasing the participant limit, because that would also generate some more money. But I also don't think that. it will be possible to have 200
mm,
skaters on the track, and also 200 people that are actually interested.
mm. So
So
to continue
yeah.
with the question, as in like your social media announcements, setting participant limits, and planning the race itself, measuring racetrack and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then we always have to sort of rework the registration form.
Mm,
So every year we try to improve it, because we are sort of a bit of a low budget organization. So we have Stan Becker, who does the registration form,
mm-hmm,
and he makes it by hand. We don't have a company or
mm,
something who does it for us. So
mm,
every year we see, some things went wrong, so we have to change the code a bit, etc.
mm,
Also, sometimes you have some new rules that you need to add.
mm,
So that's going to be sort of the next thing.
mm,
And also, we're also trying to organize everything now as official as possible.
mm,
So we're also dealing now with permits.
mm,
So, and that also takes some time. We have actually a company helping us getting the right permits.
mm,
But yeah, they have to request a permit at the municipality, and this is bureaucracy, so that takes time.
mm,
So now we're waiting until we have the official permit
mm,
before we open the
mm,
registrations. Yeah, and then basically, at that stage, I work at all things at the same time. So we will have someone design the Ultraskate
mm,
T-shirt. I'm contacting sponsors for the event.
mm,
Um, I'm posting, well, as soon as I know some sponsors, I start posting things on social media as
mm,
well. And that's also one of the issues, is that that I'm basically sort of the chief social media and the organizer, and I have all these tasks. So maybe good to know for the Dutch Ultraskate 2025. We're also looking for some people who can help us out with that. I would like to have someone who can manage the social media for us, also on site during the event,
nice, nice.
because that actually, yeah, people also underestimate how much work that is, the whole social media
Mm,
thing.
mm,
Especially around the event in sort of these last two
mm.
weeks, when I have sort of my organizing things, and then also the social media things.
Yeah.
It's a bit too much sometimes.
Cool, cool.
Yeah.
So you need volunteers. Hope people get to see this. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah.
So, about the racetrack measurements and hiring a chip.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about
Um,
that. Sorry. So yeah, so this is actually a whole different topic, but and I think there will soon be some more information about this. So
mm, mm,
um, one of my functions within the
mm,
IDSA is to do the record keeping.
mm, mm,
Keeping track of the world records.
mm, mm,
And one thing that has been lacking
mm,
is like official course measurements.
mm,
So I did some digging into how does World Athletics
mm,
do their course measurements, and I found this device, the Jones
mm,
counter. I will not explain how it
mm,
works, but the idea is that we measure all the tracks with that
mm,
device using a certain
mm,
protocol. And Lena from Malone and Kake is like also involved in
mm,
that, and she basically is working now on the writing up this
mm,
protocol.
mm,
But the idea is that we measure all the tracks using this device,
mm,
and we can sort of compare the records from all the different tracks, and they are all measured with the same accuracy,
mm, mm,
basically.
mm, mm,
And so, yeah, we measured the track with the Jones counter like the day before the
mm,
race, and the idea is that this measurement will hold up for the coming years, unless they change the track or something, which I don't think is going to happen,
mm.
or if they repave it or something. But the idea is that we do this measurement, and then we have the official length of the track,
Cool.
which we will also use for future record
Mm.
keeping,
Do
basically.
you hire
Yeah.
the same GPS company for all the participants, to measure their distance and stuff like that?
The timing
Yeah.
system. Yeah, so actually we switched this year or last yeah, this year we switched to a different company.
Mm,
Um, we always used
mm,
MyLabs, which is like a very big company who does also very big marathon events,
mm, mm,
and we switched to a smaller
mm,
company. The reason for this is that
mm,
Yeri, who does the timekeeping,
mm,
he actually also works with this
mm,
company, so he also does timing
mm,
for other
mm,
events, and that's why we thought like, okay, Yeri is very skilled using this
mm.
system. It will be easier for him to use this system, and it was a bit cheaper as well.
Awesome,
So
awesome.
yeah.
So, do you order
Mhm.
trophies, or like you make your own trophies when you want to gift people and the after party stuff?
Yeah, so it's actually a combination of both.
Mm,
So for the 6 hour this year, we had David
mm,
from
mm-hmm,
Poland, David Pabian from Exile and Antidote,
mm-hmm,
and he made some trophies.
mm-hmm,
He made these, for the podiums. He made these 6 hour trophies, and then he also made these sort of badges for everyone that skated over 100 kilometers in the 6 hours. For the 24 hour, it's a bit
mm,
different because we have like more of these milestones, right? We have the 100 miles, the 200 miles, the 250, the
mm,
300, and the 100 miles are a
mm,
patch which we
mm,
order.
mm,
200 miles are the
mm,
wheels. They are always sponsored by Don't
mm,
Trip
mm.
trucks. Then for the 250, I made them. Well, I had a company made them for me,
Awesome.
but we run out of them, so we have to make new
Mm.
ones. And then the 300 are the golden truck,
Ah,
which are also sponsored by Don't Trip. But for the 2025 edition, we will need some new trophies. So that will also be one of the things that's on the list to do. Yeah.
that's awesome. That's awesome. So, when you conducted the 6 hour race, like, did you introduce any new elements into the 6 hour pattern of Ultraskate race compared to Asia and other places?
Yeah, that's actually quite a good question. I had to think about it a little bit, but
Uh-huh.
the thing is that I really like the format that we have of the 24
Mm-hmm.
hour, and I actually try to keep things as similar as possible. So, for example, we have the trophies, the event shirt,
Mm-hmm.
all those kind of things. I think the only sort of new element that we
Mm-hmm.
introduced was the way that we made the podium. So we had
Ah.
this. Andy terms it I think the first to the line
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
thing. So one of the things you have with this, well, it's called like a fixed time event, right? So the time you have is fixed.
Mm-hmm.
So 6 or 24 hours is that the metric on which you base the podium is the total distance covered by the athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then the problem we run into is that we don't have a way that we can measure partial laps that are covered by each individual skater. So we count only full laps.
Mm-hmm.
And the Dutch Ultraskate track is relatively long. It's longer than Miami. It's more than 3 kilometers, which means that I had the suspicion that it could be that people would end up with the same total distance.
Ah.
And then the question is sort of, how do you deal with that? Are you going to do a shared first place or a shared second
Mm.
place, or how do you make the
Or film
podium?
them at the
So
last moment or something.
yeah, yes, yeah. So you have to find some way to do
Mm.
that. And the what we decided to do
Mm.
is that we used the final passing time.
Mm.
So basically, if people would end up with the same distance, who did it in sort of the fastest time,
Mm.
which goes a little bit against the idea of a fixed time
Yeah.
format, but at least you can make a podium,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why, for example, in the men's
Mm.
division, um, we ended up with a podium, one, two,
Mm.
three. But all the me, Paul, and Rick, we all had the same
Yeah,
total distance.
it was
Yeah,
amazing to check them actually.
yeah, and yeah, it was quite funny because me and Rick, we skated together for the last bit, and then yeah, we decided to do like a final sprint, and then Rick was actually 1 second faster than me.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, the top two was decided by a second, which was pretty cool, I think. But
Very close,
yeah,
very close. That's amazing. That's amazing.
exactly,
And yeah,
exactly.
next one is going to be even more surprising, I believe. So, what is the effective cross training regimen for like long distance skating? Be it is it running, is it trail running, uphill skating, or any other activities that you want to suggest?
Yeah, yeah, that's also a very good question. So first of all, the short answer is I don't know. I don't know what's the best way, but uh, the reason why I do so many different things is because that's what I like, and I think that's the main thing that you have to consider when doing these kind of
Mm,
things is that you you know 6 hours or 24 hours, that's a long time,
yeah,
you know, that's a long
yeah.
time to be on the board. So it's basically like an endurance thing. So any sort of endurance type of sports will positively contribute to your performance. And then the question is, do you want to have the best possible result? Then you will indeed need to find sort of the best possible way to train. But yeah, you can. I mean, if you look at me, for example, you can have very good performances with, just doing all the stuff that you like. And I think if you want to, be in the sport for long and want to perform well, I think having fun is sort of the main thing that you need to focus on. And for me, that is doing all these different things. And yeah, perhaps if I would really focus on, I want to skate some kind of record,
Mm,
I would have to sort of be more
mm,
specialized,
mm,
do more skating and less
mm.
running. But at the moment, it's going well. So yeah.
So I understand, like, because you have a land wherein like it could be winter, too hard, too much ice, so you can't skate sometimes.
Mhm.
So you chose a different activity, and also the seasons
Exactly.
playing to the thing, like so you play along so with the weather and the climate.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, indeed. That's one thing I also forgot to mention. That's also the reason why I picked up running, is
Mm,
because skating in winter is
mm,
difficult here
mm,
in Europe, in most European
mm,
countries, because indeed of the ice and the cold and stuff.
mm,
So for me, running was a very good
mm,
alternative. And yeah, you also explore sort of new
mm,
parts of your
mm,
place.
mm,
You come on dirt
mm,
trails which you can't go with your
mm,
board, etc.
mm.
So it also expands your horizon a little bit, I would
That's
say. So
amazing. That's amazing. To stay
yeah.
active, to keep your body always toned for the next activity or race that you want to participate. That's quite inspiring.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of things to take away
Hmm.
for me. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, yes, sir. So I observed your Strava activity as soon as you completed your 6-hour Dutch Ultraskate thing. And I happened to
Hmm.
see you stay in between like 159 beats per minute to 174 beats per minute. And that is almost like anaerobic and VO to max in my scenarios. But how did you manage to do
Hmm.
that? Do you strictly follow your heart rate zone stuff? What is your maximum heart rate limit? Can you throw some light?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so the thing with heart
Mm,
rate is that it's very
mm-hmm,
personal. So you can't really compare any individual. You can't say, well, for me it would be like that, because yeah, your body is different. Your heart rate zones are completely
mm,
different. And in my case, I think in general my maximum heart rate is quite high.
mm.
I To be honest, I don't know exactly what it is right now. It was measured. I did one of these tests in a lab to get my maximum heart rate and VO2 max and those kind of things measured.
Ah,
But that was in 2018,
ah.
and back then my maximum heart rate was measured at 203,
Mm-hmm,
I think.
mm-hmm,
And I know that's quite accurate because in some races, some shorter running races, I also reached 200 plus maximum heart rate in the final
For
sprint.
a quick
So
calculation, what is it okay if I ask your age?
yeah, sure.
So
So I'm 35.
35.
So I see you've been using this formula that goes around on the internet, which I think is 220
Ah,
minus your age,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Um, I think for like maybe a large section of the population, this is accurate, but on an individual
Mm.
level,
You're a
it's mostly
actually
not so
avid
accurate.
athlete, so you might have a much more higher, beyond amateur capacity also. So I wonder it comes to 185 BPM, but I'm amazed by your performance, and I don't know if I can stay that long on anaerobic and VO2 capacity. That's
Y- Yeah, well, so the thing is that because my maximum heart rate is
mm,
higher than I think for most people, I think I'm sort of above average,
mm,
right? I
mm,
mean, I don't think many people, especially at my age. So that's also one other factor is that it was measured in
mm,
2018.
mm,
We're now like 6 years ahead,
mm,
and your maximum heart rate is supposed to go down with
mm,
age.
mm.
So I know I've hit 190 in
Wow,
some races recently, but um, I don't think I've been close to the 200 in the last couple of years. So I wouldn't know if my max heart rate is still around the 200.
that's amazing.
But that also means that these
Mm,
zones, the zone calculations are different for me.
mm.
And the thing is, these zones were also calculated back in 2018,
I
but
understand.
they also changed. You know, it also depends on the amount of training you do,
Yes.
and especially in endurance athletes, these zones also look different because you sort of try to to push up your lactate threshold
Mm,
basically
mm,
because you don't want you don't you want to have like a very high endurance
mm, mm,
basically
mm,
and so it also depends on what type of athlete you are, whether you are a sprinter or sort of a middle
mm,
distance or like super long endurance
mm.
like us distance skaters mostly, then these these zones also will differ
I understand.
on an individual basis.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's amazing. I only thought like bicyclists would go to a coach to determine all the Vivo to Max and all their things and readings. But I'm surprised to see a long distance skater approaching having a professional approach, and it's amazing. I always follow Mr. Rick Bronk and his Strava feed also.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, he's doing a very good job with monitoring these
Huh?
things very accurately and really training in the specific zones.
Yeah.
But I want to make one remark, by the way.
Yeah.
So the thing is that you can calculate these
Mm-hmm.
zones, but it's also very easy to just do it on sort of perceived effort.
Mm,
So nice to have this
mm,
data, you know. But I think if you do things by
mm,
feel, especially if you're a well-trained
mm,
athlete, you don't really need all of this
mm,
data. You can really
mm,
feel if you're doing a race or a training if you're going too hard or not.
mm,
That's something that you learn as an athlete by doing many races, a lot of training. You'll find your own rhythm. So it's not like a nice additional tool,
mm.
but I don't think it is required to know all this data.
That's amazing. That's I read your post on Instagram about your performance in Dutch Ultraskate. How you forgot your heart rate monitor. How you forgot your all the
Yeah,
desired required devices, and you came back running.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, because that's another thing, right? You have the chest
Yeah.
strap, which is a very accurate
Mm,
measurement because it actually measures the electric
mm, mm,
impulses. And then, yeah, I use the GPS
mm,
watch, and it has an optical sensor for heart
mm,
rate, which is known to be less
mm.
accurate. So that's another thing that you also will have to consider. That because I forgot my chest strap during the Dutch Ultraskate, it measured from my watch, which is less accurate.
So
So
you go by your
yeah,
intuition. That's amazing. That's amazing. So
yeah.
if you have to advise for a commoner like me, like if I am thinking I want to have a professional approach, would you suggest me to go by feel or like follow the certain initial professional approach until you attain that state of mind?
Yeah, I think that's a difficult question for me to answer for you because It's also, if you look at professional
mm,
athletes, there's also a lot of professional athletes who measure everything they can.
mm.
They look at some people also measure their blood lactate by doing
Oh,
like pricks in their
yeah,
fingers or their
yeah.
ears. And people train on lactate levels in the blood, and people measure
Mm,
everything. But on the other hand, there are also plenty of
mm,
athletes who do it a lot by feel.
mhm,
And I think both are equally good things to do,
mm, mm,
or a combination of both.
mm,
So my advice is always to do what suits you
mm,
best, but always, you know, data is one
mm,
thing, but sometimes the data shows something, but you have a different
mm,
feeling. And if something feels different than what the data shows, then I would always go by your personal feeling about it. If your watch says like, oh, you're recovered and very ready to
mm,
train, but you yourself, you don't feel ready to
mm.
train, then don't do it. That's sort of my would be my approach to it.
Listen to your body. So amazing. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
exactly.
Sir, what are your plans for Dutch Ultraskate in 2025? As you just announced it, that's amazing. Congratulations and best regards. And beyond after 2025 as well.
Yeah, the question is sort of, do you ask me that as a skater or as an event organizer or both?
As both. I would love both perspectives.
Yeah, because so as an event organizer, I mean, the Dutch Ultra Skate is like super close to my
Mm-hmm.
heart. It's like something I've been doing for many
Mm-hmm.
years, and I think it's a very important
Mm,
event, not just because of the race, but also because of the sort of get
mm,
together of the European
mm,
scene. And I would really like to continue the
mm,
event. So that's basically the
mm,
plan. To so for the coming year is to do the 24-hour
mm-hmm.
again, if it all works out with permits and having enough
Mm-hmm.
people to help
Mm-hmm.
me. And then that would be, yeah, I would like to continue that for as long as I can,
Mm,
basically. And then yeah, as an athlete, it's always very difficult to do both,
mm,
to organize the event and skate.
yeah.
But yeah, there's still one thing left on my list, and that is breaking the 500 kilometer
Oh,
barrier, basically. So I hope to achieve that
mm,
one
mm,
day. I don't know if it's going to be next year, but maybe in 2 years or 3 years. I don't
mm,
know. I think I still have some time to go, and especially I was quite
mm,
surprised actually that I broke the 140 kilometer
mm,
barrier for the 6 hour, which is my best performance on a 6 hour
mm-hmm.
ever. So even though I'm getting older, it seems that there's still room for improvement.
Mm,
So I still feel like that I can also improve on my 24-hour
mm.
performance. So that would be the plan. Yeah.
Good regards. My best wishes for you to compete for that thing. So, guess we have come to the
Hmm.
end of our
Thanks.
interview. It was an amazing interview. I
Yeah.
had wonderful interaction with you. Thanks for all the deep insights
Yeah.
that you were able to share to us. If you have anything that you want to share to the participants of your Dutch Ultra Skate 2025, you can go ahead and tell that, and we'll finish it.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks a lot for the interview. I think it was actually quite nice to have this sort of recap of the whole event, and yeah, your questions also challenged me a bit to think about certain things. And yeah, I really hope we can have a good event in
Mm,
2025. I'm really looking forward to
mm,
it. Also, keep an eye out for everything IDSA related. We are also planning to publish some stuff regarding course
mm,
records and measurement of the courses in collaboration with Lena from
mhm,
Malonekakker. And yeah, I just really hope we can make it a big event again in 25. I just hope a lot of people will participate. A lot of people are excited. And yeah, if you want to contribute in some way, yeah, please contact me via social media channels. People will know where to find
Mm.
me. So yeah, and thanks a lot for the opportunity to talk a little bit about Ultraskate and stuff in this interview. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's a 24-hour race, right? 2025 Dutch.
That's the plan. So we have to wait for the
Mm.
permit, but the main goal is to do the 24
Mm.
hour. If the municipality somehow doesn't give us a permit, we may have to stick for the 6 hour. But we're really going all in for the 24-hour format in
Amazing,
2025.
amazing. Good
Yes,
regards for
yes,
you. Best wishes, and
yeah.
thank you
Thanks.
so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Have a good
You
day.
too, sir.
Yeah.
Please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also, I authorize the content to be published only on my YouTube channels, not elsewhere in the past as well as in the present. And probably to the guest who is involved in this, probably they can have these content as well. And please help me get my YouTube channels monetized. I have two channels, Krishnan Srinivasan 830, Krish Arts and Photography 5643 YouTube IDs. Please do help them to get YouTube monetization. Thank you. And watch this disclaimer. Bye.